Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I saw that I'm always sort of apologizing that I'm not consistent, that I'm not doing these videos too often, but then I realized, there's always the right time. So when I'm supposed to do the video, that's when I'll do it. And I think this is a good place to go to when we want to discuss our lives in general. Stop apologizing, stop questioning. The right time is always going to show up. So today I want to talk about how can we deliberately manifest, because we're always manifesting. And we have to understand which part of us is manifesting. And it's always the state of being. I don't know, people who are following know that the system that I teach is called be and it will be. So whatever you're being, that's what will be. But how do we get more control over it? Because what do we do mostly? We're on automat. We get a thought or somebody says something and we're triggered. But where are we triggered? In our hearts, in our state of being. And that is where manifestation starts, because we start vibrating from that field and it's reflected to us. So we always say, there's no point trying to correct the world outside of us because it's a direct reflection of us. So I can't do anything about that, but I can do something about changing my state of being. So how do I do that? Actually, we just switch the way it travels. What does that mean? Instead of allowing this automatic mind to just trigger us all the time, it doesn't matter if it's your mind or somebody else's mind, thoughts in general, we want to tell the thought what we want. So what do? We go to our state of being. Who are we being right now and who do we want to be? We go first to the heart, to feel the feeling of the heart. And the thing that we want to feel, which it could come from gratitude or whatever it is, to make you happy, that feel that's going to come out is going to bring back the thought that pertains to that feeling. So we've just changed things around. And instead of things being automat, what are we doing is we're saying, no, we're going to be conscious. We're in the here and now. We're going to realize where we're at. We're going to say, hang on a second, I don't really like this feeling. I don't like what it's reflecting. How can I change it? I'm just going to stop everything right now. I'm going to breathe into that space. I'm going to breathe out so that I become conscious and aware of the now. In that now, in the place we are, which we are anyway, which is not that consciously. In this space that we are now feeling the feeling we want to feel. And everything that is on the wavelength of that feeling must come to me. It might come in a thought or it might just appear. So that's what we want to do. We're just changing the way things were going. We're changing, I don't know, you might say, or changing the way the traffic is going. If the traffic was going from thought to feeling, we're going from feeling to thought. That's what we're doing. And it is magic. And I'll tell you how it works. So, for example, I went to a shopping mall the other day and I thought, you know what, I'm going to park here in this space that's exactly next to the entrance of a certain entrance of the mall, because it was pouring with rain. And I didn't want to take my umbrella and anything. I just wanted to make a run for it. So I felt first how wonderful it would be to have that parking space right opposite that entrance. I was just feeling the end of that story. I wasn't going through it. There was an inner knowledge that that parking space is there for me. And then I looked. While I was approaching, I saw there weren't any parking spaces. And I could see that I could really start second guessing myself. And I said, no, you're going to stay in that space that you know that there is going to be a parking space for you. And as I was approaching, a thought entered. Remember, the thought is now invited by the feeling that said, somebody's just leaving right now and you're going to park in that space. And just as I turned the corner, that car left and I got into the space. So that is how it works. Now, we've all had these things happen with the little things, but we want it to happen with other things as well, which we consider big. By the way, universe doesn't differentiate between big things, small things, or whatever, because everything in the unseen manifested world is already there. It's just waiting to come out. But it can't come out if we don't understand the language of that unmanifested field. That language is of feelings. We are vibrations. We are living vibrations all the time. So when I'm vibrating on a certain level, and by the way, you're manifesting all the time. You're just doing it the other way around. So we want to do it consciously. So you just sit down for a minute, you breathe in, you say to yourself, I'm deserving of feeling good. I'm grateful for everything I have in my life. You try to get yourself into that space. You feel the feeling of the thing you want, but you go to the end of the story. You don't go through it. You don't start calculating how to get there. You feel what it's like to be in that parking space. Okay? In that space, you're feeling amazing and elated. Now, this is the added value, because, you know, most of us were taught that if we wanted good for ourselves, we were being selfish. It's the other way round. Because when you're in a good place, you're not occupied with little pity me. You're occupied with bringing good to the world because you're vibrating it. Everybody who wants to be in that space will vibrate that space and reflect you. It has to begin with you. It's love you first, then your neighbor. Okay? The way you love yourself. And it's effortless when you love yourself. By the way, apologies for my voice. I went through 2 weeks with no voice at all. I have to tell you, I quite loved the silence, and a lot of pennies dropped. And so that's another thing that I would like to give as advice. I think it would be very nice to just take some time off and be in total silence. Just walking around, appreciating, not feeling that you have to say anything. The have to say something is always the ego, and we all know what that's doing to us. So I would like to wish us all this inner knowledge and knowing how to change the traffic within you. Instead of mind, heart, heart, mind. That's all for today, and see you next time when the time is right.